Man, oh man. Whew. That main event was off the chain, dude. Will Ospreay and Shota Umino put on a fucking classic. Ospreay is just on another level, man. This guy could have a he potentially could have a 5-star match with any with anybody, bro. It's insane. Now, I'm not knocking Umino because I know Umino is great, and I know they're positioning Umino to be one of the next top guys in New Japan within the next year or two. But my God, that match, I don't know, man. I want to say this was the match of the year, but it's hard. They had a classic. Man, Power Struggle was a good show. A lot of the early matches were quick matches, but as we got further down into the card and into the show, stuff progressively got better. They progressed storylines and matches for Wrestle Kingdom, which is always good to see. And man, shit, I'm excited. Let's talk about it. Power Struggle. Opening match was Oscar Leobe and Yuta Nakashima versus United Empire's Hollow Newman and Jeff Cobb. Quick match. Jeff Cobb got the pin, get the tour of the islands on Oscar Leobe, and got the dub for United Empire. It was nice to see Colin Newman not get pinned for once. This dude's got pinned every match during the super. I mean, not the junior tag league. It was nice to see Colin Newman get a dub. Next, we had a four-way junior tag league match. Well, it wasn't junior tag league, but a four-way junior tag match between TMDK's Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, Master Wato and El Desperado versus Yo and Musashi versus Bullet Club's Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors. Again, for a four-way tag, this was pretty quick. Desperado got the pin on Fujita to now this Desperado winning here, I assume, is what led to what happened later in the show, which we'll talk about, but I'm just assuming that's where they're going. But yeah, quick stuff. Pretty good action for the time they got. Next, we had a 6-man tag between Tama Tonga, Kushida, and Kevin Knight versus Titan, Ibushi, and Shingo Takagi. Not really sure why Tama's teaming up with Kushida and Kevin Knight, but I guess it's because Bushi and Titan and Kushida and Kevin Knight were our junior tag or part of the junior tag division. I guess I don't know. But this was obviously to progress Tama Tonga and Shingo Takagi. After the match was over, um, well, Tama pinned Bushi to get the win for Tama, Kushida, and Kevin Knight. But after the match, Tama teased like he wants a rematch for his never openweight championship that he lost to Shingo at the Vegas show last week, which you guys can go check that review out if y'all want. So yeah, it does seem like they're teasing Tama and Shingo again, which I would not be against. Tama is entitled to a rematch clause, and their match in Vegas was a banger. So I wouldn't mind seeing this again at probably most likely Wrestle Kingdom. So good shit here. Next, we had a preview for the Wrestle Kingdom main event. We had Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito versus Yua Uemura and Sonata. Naito and Tsuji representing Los Ingobernables de Japón, and Yua and Sonata representing just the Five Guys, which is a stupid faction. Naito did get the win here. Naito and Suji. No, I figured this was gonna happen because Yua's on the other side, and Yua just came back from excursion, so I don't really see Yua getting any wins anytime soon. Um, Suji is great. I really like Suji. I think Suji is a future world champion for sure. And Naito, this builds more momentum for Naito towards Wrestle Kingdom. He won the G1, and I feel like a lot of fans are really looking forward to that match between Naito and Sonata because there's a lot of history. A lot of history there. Sonata left Lij at the beginning of the year because he felt like Lij was holding him back. Look what happened. Sonata became champ. He beat Okada. So there is a lot of history. You know, Lij has been a faction for a long time now. And Sonata and Evil were very loyal to Naito. And Evil drop shipped first for basically the same reasons. Joined Bullet Club. And God, I really hate that decision. And Sonata, they left for similar reasons, and they both ended up becoming world champion shortly after, betraying Naito. So there is a lot of history between Sonata and Naito. Looking forward to that match at Wrestle Kingdom. Next, we had Tonga Loa versus David Finlay, and this match is happening because Tonga Loa pinned David Finlay at the Royal Quest 3 show in the UK that happened not too long. And Finlay, just wants to get revenge because he feels like Tonga's not better, and which is just true. David Finlay beat Tonga Loa. Used the shillelagh though, but hey, a win's a win. You have to establish David Finlay as a top guy in Japan because a lot of people are not messing with Finlay being the leader of the Bullet Club. Now, I'm gonna be honest, y'all people gotta have the same energy that y'all have with Jay White. A lot of people weren't fucking with Jay White as a new leader of Bullet Club when that happened, and look what happened. Jay White won him over, and now he's the top guy. Got to do that with Finlay. You can't just have him lose, lose, lose. It's one thing for him to drop the never open weight title to Tama Tonga like he did, but you can't have a guy. No offense to Tonga Loa, I think he's great. Him and Tama are probably one of the best tag teams to ever grace New Japan's doorsteps. But you can't have Finlay lose to Tonga Loa. You just can't. Now, to be fair to Tonga Loa, he did beat Okada in the G1. So, I mean, hey, a win's a win, right? But anyways, yeah, David winning here is the right decision, and it plays into what happened after the main event, which we'll talk about when we. Next, we had the Great Okan versus John Moxley. Now, this is happening because when Umino challenged Osprey for the UK and US championships at Royal 3, Osprey said he'd agree to the match as long as Great Okan gets a match with John Moxley, and here we are. They just had a fucking ridiculous falls count anywhere brawl in Osaka. They were all over the place in the crowd. They were everywhere. And at one point, Moxley cut off Great Okan's piece of Okan's little. I don't want to call it a rat tail, but it's like a. I don't know. The rat tail is like the first thing that comes to my mind because it's not really a ponytail. It's a rat. I'm gonna go with rat tail. So Moxley cuts off a piece of Okan's rat tail because earlier he was like, "Well, I'm not leaving till I get a piece of you, you son of a bitch." And yeah, just wild stuff. Of course there was blood, but you don't really see a lot of blood in New Japan. So in this instance, it was okay for Moxley to bleed. Moxley does win after he chokes him out, as O'Khan passes out in the crowd somewhere, and Moxley gets the dub. It's not the last that we see of Moxley though. Stay tuned. Next, we had never open weight 6-man championship match between TMDK's Mikey Nichols, Shane Haste, and Zack Sabre Jr. They are challenging Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii. They had a great, well, I want to say great, but it was a good action-packed 6-man tag match, and Okada, Tanahashi, and Ishii retained their titles. And that wasn't really the most important part about this. The most important part was that Bryan Danielson had a video package played in Osaka, challenging Okada to a match at Wrestle Kingdom. So we're finally gonna get Bryan Danielson in Japan in a New Japan ring for the first time in a fucking long time. So I'm excited for this. Now, Danielson did play up the fact that every time they've wrestled, Okada has broken something of Danielson, which is true. You know, his arm, and then now I think he has like an orbital bone fracture or something along those lines. So Okada, is one up on him. So we'll have to see if hopefully nobody gets injured during this Wrestle Kingdom. Hopefully. Fuck's sake. But yeah, I'm excited. Danielson Okada in the Tokyo Dome. 5 stars. Just go ahead and give it out, Dave. 5 stars. Go ahead. Next, we have the finals of the Super Junior Tag League between Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Catch 22, TJP, and Francesco Akira. Now, you saw my Night 9 review. You heard the rant. The House of Torture should not be in this position whatsoever. I like Sho a lot. I think he's really good, but him being stuck with his House of Drek is, to me, in my opinion, is just wasting his potential. And Kanemaru, he's limited. He limited. Can't really do a whole lot. And there was just so many other better tag teams you could have had in this final. You could have had Ibushi and Teton. You could have had Honors and Maloney. You could have had Kushida and Kevin Knight. I would even taken Desperado and Watto. I'm not a big Watto guy, but I I do have to understand why they had Sho and Kanemaru in here, because everyone hates the House of Torture. So you want to have a final where it's one real heel team versus a real babyface team. I can get it, and I can respect. Doesn't mean I like it though, but that's besides the point. For what Kanemaru can do, in ring wise, I thought this was the best match I've ever seen Yoshinobu Kanemaru have. Same thing with Sho, and I hate to say it, but this was the best House of Torture affiliated match I've ever seen. Because TJP and Francisco Akira are great. They really are. They are fantastic together. And I was very skeptical when they put them together. Because when Akira joined New Japan, they teamed him up with TJP. And I was just like, do they even know each other or anything like that? Makeshift tag teams is a big criticism of mine when it comes to wrestling. But they eventually found out, and they work really well together. They complement each other. And Francisco Akira, my God. And I know they say he's like the first Italian guy to wrestle in New Japan. This guy's fucking awesome. And so is TJP. I know a lot of people hate TJP for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but This guy can go. He's really good. And I thought they had a great finals match for to end this tournament. They really did. I will say though, I did like last year's finals tournament match better between Yo and Leo Rush versus Chris Bay and Ace Austin. I did think that match was better, but I felt like this match worked a lot more because Sho and Kanemaru got heat with the crowd because nobody fucking likes them. And there was interference in this match, but I thought the interference worked in a sense because it's the House of Torture. That's all they can do is just fucking interference nonstop. But thank God, yeah, Catch 2-2 got the dub here. They won Junior Tag League. They will now challenge Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors for the tag team titles at Wrestle Kingdom. That's your match. Catch 2-2 of the United Empire. JP, Francisco Akira versus Bullet Club's Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors for the Junior Tag Team Championships. That match is going to be a banger. I already know it's going to be a banger. It's going to be so good, and I can't wait for it. Thank God it wasn't the House of Torture that won this tournament. Thank God. Speaking of good matches, Taiji Ishimori and Hiromu Takahashi, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I like Ishimori's ring gear when it came out. The all white with the Bullet Club logo on the side. Well, his Bullet on the side. He looked fantastic. Ishimori looks like he's chiseled out of stone, dude. This guy is so in shape. It's ridiculous. Um, man, these guys. It's interesting because I think everyone expects a really good match between Ishimori and Hiromu. But even for myself and my expectations, I thought they knocked this shit out the park. This might be my favorite Ishimori match this year, only because he's been out a lot during this year, and Hiromu constantly produces bangers in the junior heavy. This guy can never have a bad match whatsoever. They got a lot of time, and they used all that time to their advantage. It's fantastic stuff. I would say go out of your way to watch. Then again, what I'm about to tell you in this main event, you might want to watch two more matches. But anyways, I was interested to see if Ishimori would win because Hiromu was the reason why he was out for so long. I don't know if that's true, or if that's just a storyline thing that they're going with, but yeah. But unfortunately, Ishimori did not win. Hiromu retained his title, which is fine. Hiromu is very liked within the Japan audience, so how do you not have this guy on Wrestle Kingdom? That's my logic as to why Hiromu won. Gotta have him on Wrestle Kingdom. And what would you know? Good old El Desperado comes out, challenges Hiromu for a match at Wrestle Kingdom, the IWGP Junior Championship. El Desperado has gotten himself really over with the audience in recent years, and he's certainly a fan favorite. So I wouldn't say I think this match is going to be good regardless, but I don't think it's something to set your expectations as far as like a 5-star type of match. It's going to be good. I just don't think Desperado and Hiromu can click that well because El Desperado's not really a high flyer per se as Hiromu is. So I don't know. I hope they mesh well. They're gonna have a good match at Wrestle Kingdom. So we'll just have to see what happens. Execution. Execution. Next, we had some main event time. Shota Umino challenging Will Ospreay for the IWGP US and UK championships. I don't think they ever explain what happened because one day Ospreay just changed the title to the UK championship, but it turns out he just made a UK championship and actually had the real US championship. So I don't know if it's supposed to be two different titles recognized by New Japan, or is it just the US? I don't know. Um, but that is important to the match. But man, man, oh man, like I said, beginning of the show, Osprey's just on another. They went super long. Umino was drenched in sweat. Drenched in sweat. This guy was Umino was working his ass off, and it really shows. I can't do this match justice. Might be match of the year, which you could say with a lot of Will Ospreay matches this year. But I would 1000% recommend watch this. It was bloody fantastic. You know, one point Ospreay was had Umino out, and Moxley came to the ring, trying to hype him up, telling him not to quit and stuff. And I thought that was interesting because okay, so are they gonna now set up Moxley versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom? Because Umino is Moxley's, young boy in a sense, and Umino does take after Moxley a lot. He does the whole coming through the crowd thing that Moxley does, and he carries a towel and a water bottle and stuff like that. He's very Moxley esque when it comes to his presentation. Umino is so. That's what I was thinking when Moxley came down. I was like, oh wow, they're gonna do Moxley versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. Um, which kind of ends up what happening, but Ospreay gets the win. He retains the titles. Then Moxley challenges Ospreay for a match at Wrestle Kingdom for the US and UK Championship. But before an answer is given, David Finlay runs in and attacks both of them, knocks them out, and he takes the US and UK championships and fucking destroys them with a giant fucking hammer. I've never seen a hammer like this before, ever. He just destroys the belts. They're dented in, they're in pieces, they're destroyed. And Finlay says, there's gonna be a new championship, something along those lines. And then we later find out that at Wrestle Kingdom, it's gonna be a three-way match between Will Ospreay, Jon Moxley, and David Finlay for a new championship. And I believe Ospreay said in post-show comments that if they're not going to bring back the Intercontinental Championship, then he's just going to create a belt himself, and take it around the world. So it's going to be for some kind of new championship. Do I hope it's a new revamped Intercontinental Championship? Sure, but could they also just do a make another championship and call it something else? I don't know, because quite frankly, that US championship has been cursed. It really has over the years, between just people not being able to defend it and people getting sick, the whole COVID thing, Juice and Moxley, and what a cursed championship. The US, the IWGP US Championship, and the women's and the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships have a lot in common. It's just a lot of start and stops that never. And to be quite frank, to Ospreay is probably the guy who did the most with it, even though he changed the title to the UK title. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens at Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, Wrestle Kingdom is looking really good. You got Naito and Sonata. You got Okada and Danielson. You got Desperado and Hiromu. And you got TJP and Akira versus Maloney and Connors. A lot of good stuff there. That's just only 4 matches. I can think probably some other. Oh yeah, they teased Shingo and Tamatanga. What's gonna happen there? Who knows? But a lot of good stuff, man. Power Struggle was a great show. That main event was insane. Osprey's on another level, and I really hope that he signs with TNA going forward. That's just my opinion, but the fate of Osprey is in the future. A lot of people were talking about Osprey, but there's his contract's not up till February. Still, a little over 3 months left before that happens, so maybe people should eat the Osprey contract talk. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. Like, subscribe, comment, notification bell, all that good stuff. Follow all my socials. Got the upload schedule in the description box below. I'll see you guys for the Collision review. Peace.